welcome back to Ripley Hour, and today we are on the Moomin House issue 103 and it goes up to 110, so we are almost fully complete. I have a lot to work, so hopefully well, anyone who saw 102 and watched to the end knows what we got coming up today. So we are building two walls, which is going to be for our pier. What do they call it? I can't think what they call it. It probably tells me here. Bathhouse. Okay, it's like a pier. And so we are going to be working on that, and that is all we are working on. So we're not putting nothing together. That's it. So it should be a very, very quick episode or video even. So in the magazine today we have characters the Moomins meet on their travels. So we've got people of the Wild West. We got a cowboy, a producer. Is that producer? Yeah, I think so. It's upside down. Sheriff. And then we have Moomin 200 years ago. Got ordinary people and aristocrats. Aristocrats even. Aristocrats. Disney, what can I say? On the Riviera, the resort crowd. So you've got hotel staff, you've got the casino visitors. Surprising that was the Moomins. We got a gosh, can't talk. Boutique saleswoman. We have some water. Oh, a waiter, sorry. Upside down, like I say. I'll tell you all about those. And then in Search of Freedom, Moomin Papa's journey with Hattie Fatteners. Lovely. Okay. And it gives us the descriptions of all of that. And then we got here the secret of the Hattie Fatteners. I have no idea. And then we go to our instructions. So first thing we are going to be doing is dyeing some pieces. So let's actually, first of all, let's see what's in the packet. That would be a good start here. Hold on. Got myself all in a twizzle right here. So I dye most of my woods like this for the Moomin now. I used to paint them back in the day. But found that I wasn't particularly good at it. I had a lot of residue and blah blah blah. So here we are. So I normally try and get this ready. Guess what? I did not. So we have, for this, we have two of these which we will be dyeing. We have some little strips that we're going to need to cut. They don't need dyeing, just need to cut them. And we have some cups which have the holes in, so these are going to be for the doors. Is there holes in the bottom of here? Not seeing it. Maybe I'm looking on the wrong side. No. Now if you do paint them, you do have to do, well, potentially have to do some extra steps, like you will pencil this in afterwards. So let me get my board, put these to one side, and the white bits, don't need those being dyed. And in fact the only part of being dyed that it really needs is on the back here. So like I say, if you've seen me do this before, you know I don't paint them anymore. And every one I've got on the channel I've never painted. I know what I'm like. This out of the bag. I just keep it in the plastic bag. It tends to keep the brush that you can use it again and again. And although this one's starting to go a nasty colour of mould, so I think this will be thrown away after this one. Give my dye a shake, and I'm just using Furniture Clinic wood stain and natural oak. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off. No, I'm not. You know what I'm going to do? Getting carried away. Well, I probably could have poured it without putting gloves on, but being that the lid has got stuck to the top here, it's not good. Such a good idea. And you have to shake this. I have done it before where it has not been shook, and hence why it has a little label on it saying shake before you use, and then it will come out. You just need a tiny drop. No, way too much. Still way too much. And then we will go with it like this. Put that back on, of which I will clean that because it's going to make it difficult to open going forward, I'm sure. the other thing I will need with dyeing is some kitchen towel, which I have here. So let's see where we are. There we go. Right then. Well, that was a surprise visitor come. Alrighty, so all you do with this, and you've seen me do it before I'm sure, is go over it quick. Obviously if you're painting I will show you what colours you're going to be using, but I've done all the rest of the boathouse this colour, so I'm just going to carry on with that. And this stuff dries incredibly quick, probably don't need the bottom, certainly don't need it on that side. I'll get them in like so. Take your kitchen paper, scrunch it on all sides. Did I need to do the inside? No. And make sure with dye that it's not on their side. And then they recommend doing a scalpel down here in order to define it. And like with the rest of it, I haven't not done that. So yeah, that can go there. It's pretty much dry. You rub it down, but if you leave it, the longer you leave it on there, the darker your dye will get. And I just want it pretty much the same as the rest. I was actually wondering if I had to bring the boathouse in because it was going to get me to do something way more to the episode, especially when it's coming towards the end, but not so much. And as you can see, this dye goes a really long way, and what I put in that little pot, most of it's still there. I'm just going to go down these edges again, and that is it done. This brush can be thrown away now. I'm going to get this side done, tidy up. By the time I come back from being tidied up, we will make a start on it, but like I say, you can use these pretty much straight away, so it's not a big deal. Make sure there's just none on the other side. Put them both on that kitchen paper, and I'll be back in one tick. Okay, once we've tidied up, get rid of this. Bring these back in. So these are the colour that they suggest you paint. As you can see, they want you to score it first, and then you paint it with using these shades. Okay, so that bit done, we are next going to get some pieces ready, and it's going to need some wood glue. So we will be taking all four of these, so you've got the thin ones and the thicker ones. So the wide ones are going to go on this way, I guess. Right, these are going to go in here. This one with the hole to this side. I think it's just going to work on the one side of the wall. Well, let's put this one in. I think we're just working on one side right now. Okay, let's follow the instructions. So, get hold of this, avoid the hole. So, put a bit of wood glue in here. Yes, I did need my paper again. And it goes further than, pops out the other side too. But it's this side that needs I don't know which side this one needs to go yet, so let's just do the one, and then we will need one of these. It says the thick. We need two of these. So on this side we use both two wide strips. So going up here, waste of the nice wood colour, isn't it really, that they had on it. trying to just level it, making sure that there should be a gap on one side. And these are going to need clamping, I can see this. And there will be a gap at the bottom as well. Just make sure that this is all the way in. And then my little pins. Not crocodile clips, bulldog clips rather. Not really crocodile, are they? Okay, she's being playful. She decided she doesn't want puppy biscuits anymore. Now she's playing with things she really shouldn't. It's not going to hurt her. But and there's a tiny gap on this side as well. So you want it meeting up to the inside of it. So I have a tiny gap on either side. Re-put glue on there. I'm too slow. And just put it with a clip if it needs it. I kind of felt that mine was a little bit on the bow side, so, which it may not be. Just kind of felt a bit that way. A bit more wood glue on this side, and that would do the same with this one. Make sure it goes to the top. And there should be a gap down the bottom. She's special. Oh, I must have a look at hand. It's had a lip on it. A bit of perisher today with my recording. Every time I turn it on, when I'm not doing anything, or I'm never doing anything, but when I'm not recording, she's like quiet as a mouse. And as soon as I start, then she's off on her tangents. At the moment she's having a go at the blanket. That one. Okay, right. Okay, I'm not 100% sure where that went. It hit another model that I'm working on right now. Not a model, but one of the jars with parts in. Okay. Make sure that that's on right before you leave it. Okay, so that's one done. Hold on. Okay, then you take the other one I mean, I'm assuming they're both the same really, but anyway, whichever you've done, the other one takes the thing on the other side. Oh, it's going to want a white frame. Well, it could have told me that before I started this. That would have been nice. Although, in this instance, it wouldn't make much difference. I'm just going to wait for everything to dry. And then you're going to turn it over to the side that you dyed. And put the thin strips on, but I'm going to wait for the wider strips to take first before I do that. So pinged off. So sand them down. They do have small burrs on them. Okay, let's get the clips ready this time. So I've got some which are already damaged as such, like part open. So I'm going to give them about 10 minutes. It won't be dry, but it will be enough to catch in place. So basically it's the opposite side of the door to the other one. I'm just checking that I got that right. Now I'm doubting myself. Maybe they both open the same side. Well, they can't do, can they? Because you want it to poke through there anyway. Hold on. It doesn't tell you that to make sure one's on one side and one's on the other either, by the way. It just says it overlaps slightly on the inside. Meaning this side, I think. Oops. Let's get this on then. And then it wants you to paint the inside of this frame once we've got both of these on, by the way. So like so. And like so. This one, and I'll give it, like I say, about 10 minutes and come back, put the other side on, and then afterwards I'll get the painting done, which as you know I use the acrylic pen, so it doesn't take long, but it is going to be several coats. Okay, so I'll probably start it tonight and finish it tomorrow and just show you, and that's all we are doing in this issue. Very small, considering how much work is left to do on the house. It's actually a very small amount it's getting us to do. I gave her peanut butter today. She's been a rascal ever since. I think it gave her unfound energy. Right, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm thinking these have had probably long enough. And you take your thin strips, which, as you can see, there are a lot thinner sides here. And I'm guessing these go all the way to the top, or close to. Oh, she got my tissue. Thing about taking my tissues out the pockets, and she did. Is it going all the way up to the top on the small ones? You see, I think so. It doesn't overly say. I think it goes all the way up to the top because it makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? So these must be slightly longer. I never measured them, but I will. I went slightly over the one underneath. I want to get one that's kind of pulled out of shape, really, rather than ruining one which can be better used for tighter fitting stuff. And I'm going to leave these overnight on to make sure that they are solid, and then I will get them painted on the inside and come back to you and let you know, show you what they look like, and also let you know about what we have coming in 104. Again, I want to get one that's slightly broken, and it's things like this that break them, by the way, where things where they're quite wide for them to go in, and then they just get out of shape when they've been there too long. Probably was the Moomin house that ruined them in the first place, to be honest. So that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a pretty good one too. What earth was that? Some glue of some sort. Okay, these are all pretty good ones. That one's not. That one's not. That one's not. That one is. That one is. Be ruining another one. Okay, and then do the same here. And like I say, just going to leave them on overnight to fully take. Then get them painted, which will take about 3-4 coats, because it's that end stuff which takes forever to paint. Which, if you're using paint, just make sure, I guess, that you rub down in between, because you're not going to want to have any edges. Otherwise your doors, because it looks like we're having proper doors going to be fitting on these, will fit, won't be able to fit if they're not rubbed down. Juliet, my little monkey, you haven't slept all day. I think the peanut butter gave her extra energy, and now she's a little bit overtired. In most times she wants covering up right at her bed underneath me, but this time she's after the couch, which I've just covered her up, and now she's got up and gone in her bed. Special, special, special. Baby cakes. Come on. There you go. Right, and then put this strip on, and that's all our strips done. Very little to do in this issue, isn't there? The painting on, funny enough, the painting on the inside here will probably take the longest amount of time compared to anything else we've done, because it's needs more than one coat because of the type of wood it is. But like I say, if you're using normal paints, it may not be too bad, although I was crap with them, really. I probably didn't rub them down enough in between and stuff like that. So I can see this one's going to be off if I leave it like that. Just pushing it right over. And you want it to be flush with the inside, otherwise you ain't going to get your door closed or open. Alright, so I'm going to let those sit. Alright, be back in a mo for you. Alright, so they've had their few coats of paint. One thing I had forgotten to do, I don't even know how easy this is, you have to take out the bottom. So there are lines both this side and this side. Try and do it before you put these strips on. Obviously mine was too late because I totally missed this step. You'd wonder why it looked different. And there's one other thing to do to this, and that's to make some fish. And I have to be honest with you, I am in 2 minds whether I'm doing them or not. Oh, it wasn't too bad, guys. Just take your blade and I'll rub that down. Just do that on both, and you throw that piece away, you don't need it. It probably is a bit easier to do this. It would have been easier to do with painting, that's for sure. But I don't know if it's much easier to have put the strips on like that or not, and then sand them down on the inside here. Probably needed white paint all the way down to where those white ones are going to be actually, which of course are different lengths because of that one goes down a lot further and that one goes down higher, because this one is on the outside and this one is on the inside. So possibly I did it wrong. but either way it needs a little bit of paint down the bottom there where I've taken this out. I'll probably just put it all the way to the bottom, even though it's going to go in the base. I'll go some of the way down anyway. I don't know how far it goes into this base really. I mean, probably that much I'd go with. The one which has the front probably goes that much into the base. So I'm painting just to do a little bit more. I found my new nail files. Sanding stick, sorry. Get the right word. Right, craft wise, am I going to do it? I don't think I am. They go in a bucket that we got in issue number, gosh, what issue does it say it was? Because I can't remember, 92. But I will show you what you're doing. So it's more with clay. And I don't think I'm going to do this, but these are the steps to make the fish. So I'll let you read those. And I do most of the crafts. I just don't overly fancy making them. But they look quite straightforward. Although, when it says to cut your outline of a fish on a piece of paper, and then stick your fins and your dorsal fins and your tail fin with clay on the paper, I guess, and then pick them up and attach them. I would probably just attach them. That's probably what I would do. But I'm not doing them, so it's up to you. But these are your instructions, so pause, have a look if you're going to do them, and get on and do your fish. And they are for the bucket in issue 92. Alrighty, so thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look at what we have for 104. Let me get rid of all of this. Eee, there goes the magazine. Alright, 104, hopefully. Got 6 left. We should really be moving on now. Alright, and we are going to be working pretty much on the boathouse. So it looks like we are going to be putting in the doors, because these are the panels we've just made. And you can see here that they're a different length as well, by the way, so I haven't screwed up. I did think I did. And than this one, so it does go down to here. It will go down to here into the base, and this one will be higher at the back, like so. So I'm gonna paint the rest of that inside. It's just I haven't taken them off in the first place. That's what we're going to be doing. So the boathouse is very important to finishing this build, right? Alrighty, so this is what we have done today. Not too much. If you had done your fish, then you would have a bit more, and you can say it took me an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, however long your fish take. But I mean, I'm sure they look beautiful. I don't really eat fish. I don't know that I want fish on my thing. Plus the fact this I'm pretty certain I'm going to give my granddaughter to play with, and she would just lose them in reality. So some things I think are worth doing on the crafts. This particular one I don't. Anyway, that's where we are. That's what we've done. Now you know what's coming up in 104. So we might be seeing things starting to hopefully complete. And I'm surprised we're not doing more to that roof. We started it, it's like, okay, can we carry on now? Alrighty, so please do leave any comments if you really do want me to do the fish on channel. I can certainly do that. I'll probably put it in at the beginning of the next set of 5, or the last set, so that I have done them for you. Just leave a comment and I'll try and make sure that they are videoed for you, and I will put in the title that I've added fish if that's what you'd like to see. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate everyone who has and follows along and watches the videos of me crafting, not just of course the Moomin house, but also the other models that I do on this channel. Most of all though, you make sure you take care of you. That is the most important. Take care guys, bye bye.